Welcome back. Right now, there's a lot of volatility in Nigerian FX markets. Let's get a sense of what's driving sentiment with Dumebi Oluwole, senior analyst at FDC, joining me right here in the studio. Dumebi, good morning. Great to have you.
Good morning, Laddie.
Yeah, so last week we were celebrating the sudden, strengthening of the Naira, last week. No one expected it. And definitely we were happy, to see that. But definitely the currency speculators definitely were not happy about that. But it's a brand new week, but we're seeing weakening, right now. What's driving sentiment with the Naira?
I mean, it's still the usual FX markets, distortions or concerns that are still at play. Market participants continue to price in, distorted FX fundamentals against the Naira. But truth be told, the marginal depreciation that we saw yesterday, it was very temporary, simply because we're seeing a lot of back-end work going on from the CBN to ensure that the Naira is actually regaining its strength. So two things to note. We will continue to see the CBN clear its backlog of FX demand. As of today, a little over 12 banks have been serviced, and the expectations that this is going to continue. And we've heard from the Minister of Finance and the CBN governor as well that the commitments are renewed towards ensuring that FX backlog will continue to be met towards the end of the year and even at the beginning of 2024. So the other thing to know is that the 10 billion FX inflows, even though there's still a lot of unclarity as to whether the CBN has actually received this fund, we do know that external reserves have actually gone up by about 140 million between October 20 and October 30th. So what this means is that there's a little bit of leeway for the CBN to actually continue to defend the Naira. Another thing to also note is that supply concerns are still there, simply because it's a bit unclear as to how quickly and by how much, and by how consistent, how quickly, and by how much, and by the magnitude at which the CBN will continue to, supply FX to the official window, simply because they've been very ardent on the fact that they want to significantly close the gap between the parallel market and the official rates. So generally, what we're going to continue to see is that there will be this steady but mild appreciation in the Naira towards the end of the year. For instance, JP Morgan did say that they expect the official rate of Naira to close at 850. While that may seem pretty high for the official rate, we've actually seen the official rate touch 1,000 Naira at the FMDQ market, and even the official from the CBN's published data, we've seen the official rate of Naira touch 909 Naira to $1. So 850 is still quite conservative as to where the Naira will land. So generally, market sentiments are around 800 to 850 as the year-end closure of the market, meaning there will be some level of appreciation in the Naira towards the end of the year. And that does provide some respite to market participants, business owners, investors. But the key thing to note is the moves that the CBN is making are significantly, or will I say gradually, anchoring investor expectations and also anchoring speculative behavior. The truth is that speculators will always be there, but the key thing is to always ensure that FX fundamentals, especially in terms of supply, are consistent and they continue to flow into the market.
Let's talk about FX speculators. I did see a headline this morning talking about FX speculators hurting the Nigerian economy. Yeah. And in my mind, when I think of an FX speculator, I see a trader.
Yes.
Trading sentiment.
Yes.
Okay, this might happen next. Maybe it's time to buy, or this might happen, maybe it's time to sell. So I'm wondering, are the speculators really the bad guys here?
Laddie, you're putting me on the spot. But I mean, the truth is, like I mentioned before, speculators are always there, right? And they do not speculate out of thin air. They do speculate with current market sentiment. They speculate with price discovery. They speculate with transparency in the FX market. They speculate with moves of monetary policy as well. And like I mentioned, there's not so much to deal with, right? We do know that the CBN is expecting some funds that will support the Naira. We do know that CBN is gradually clearing its backlog. We do know that the CBN sees the true value of the Naira at around 650 to 750. But all of this price sentiment around where the CBN sees the Naira and what moves it's making, there needs to be a lot more transparency on a lot of that. So the market needs to be fully aware of what is happening in the FX market. If reserves are increasing by 140 million within about 2 weeks, we need to be able to tell where that money is coming from. So because there's a lot of eyebrows raised on where supply is coming from and how the CBN actually plans to meet its unmet FX backlog, that's exactly what speculators are betting against, and that's why they're still going long on dollar positions and shorting the Naira.
But at some point, the speculators can go long on the Naira.
Of course they can. And that's why I'm saying, yes, of course it is. And that's why I'm saying sticking to FX fundamentals is the key thing here. And FX fundamental I'm referring to here is supply. And when it comes to supply, it's not only about today we see, there was some injection of funds into the FX market, but the market needs to be clear on where these funds are coming from and how significant they are going to be and how consistent they will be. Because there's one thing to supply about, let's say, 100 million to the FX market today. This is hypothetical, an hypothetical example now today, and tomorrow we see 60 million. Speculators will bet against that simply because it's not consistent. They cannot tell whether tomorrow it will be 200 or it will be 50 million. Do you understand? So that is exactly what it means when they speculate against the distortion in price discovery and transparency in the FX market. So it's not enough to say this is what is going to happen or this is what we're planning to do. You have to come out and say this is where we've gotten the money. This is how much we plan to supply to the FX market within a period of 6 months to a year. And most especially because we've gotten to the point where Nigeria's FX market, in theory and to an extent in practice, we're now, we're supposed to be in a free floating exchange rate market where market forces of demand and supply would actually determine the exchange rate. Exchange rate is the price now we're talking about. So what this means is, what we're seeing in terms of speculation, demand, and all of that, this is what a true FX market is like. Right. So if you do not do your part, the market will bet against it. Don't expect these speculators to bet for exactly
in your favor.
Do you understand? So that's exactly where we are now.
Okay, let's look at our major FX source right now. Let's look at the oil market.
Yes.
What's playing out there? Are oil prices going to stay down or go up?
I mean, there are chances that, or the market expectations are that oil prices would remain high. They most likely will not touch $100 per barrel, but because of the current geopolitical tensions still ongoing, and Saudi Arabia and Russia decided to stick with their output cost till year end, OPEC is still quite conservative about supply, and we're seeing China's demand as well also rebound. So all of these events put together have given the oil markets quite a bullish run, and the expectations are that oil prices would remain high. Now, what this means for Nigeria is split into two ways. Number one is the higher import bill on refined petroleum products that could nudge oil prices, that could nudge petrol prices higher, and at the same time, it could mean an increase in revenue for the government because oil production has been picking up in the past months.
And we need to get our production up. We need to get it up. We need to get it up at this time. Thank you so much, Dumebi Oluwole, Senior Analyst, Financial Derivatives Company. Always great having your perspective. And I hope by the time we meet again this week, the Naira would have strengthened.
Yeah, a lot more.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.